let's jump in maybe, Anna, to just a few things
Mhm.
that the government has been doing. So Yaroslavna says that she heard today, meeting with UCC and with Minister Fraser, that those Ukrainians who are in Canada on visitor visas may get an authorization to work. Do you have any info on that yet? And I think we can probably, let's see if I can get the right one. I'm going to have to add you guys both back in here so that I've got you. But just give me 1 second. This is one of the challenges we have when we're trying to get things set up here on the fly, and people are jumping in just a little bit later. But the government of Canada has made some announcements to help facilitate people that are in Canada right now, and the measures that they have instituted. I'm just going to pull up these additional ones because this is really where they highlight this package of new immigration measures, which I think is what Yaroslavna is referring to, Anna. And obviously
Yeah,
they have the
Mark, are
dedicated
you
line.
looking at the page that says additional measures? Because the open work permits are referenced under that additional immigration support. Or if you want, I can like drop you the link.
Yeah. So this one right here. So this is some of the background kind of information, and then the additional measures is, I think, this one.
Yeah. Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, so
And
this one talks about open work permits. Yeah, so the government has said so far that anybody who is in Canada and anybody who is here as a visitor, worker, student, so they will receive open work permits. And the government also said they will waive the fees for the work permits retroactive to last week.
Yeah. We'll make sure that we put this link, if people haven't seen it, we'll make sure that we put this link in the description of this video following our presentation tonight. But yeah, these measures and the ability for individuals to, who are here, and this is the indication right here of the issuance of open work permits. And the big thing here is even visitors. So if I was in Canada right now, Anna, and I was here as a visitor, what would your advice be if status was running out and you really had no mechanism for going home, even if you wanted to right now? What are some of the options that some of these measures provide to an individual who's here as a visitor?
Well, right now, so if somebody is in the position to work, because I also understand that it can be quite expensive just to sort of hang around Canada as a visitor because of the cost of living and relative to the resources with which people come here from Ukraine as visitors. So if they were to stay here for a long period of time, so they need to be able to work, and of course they need to be able to work without fear of legal consequences for unauthorized work. So anybody who is a visitor, we are still not clear right now what the application mechanism will be. I am hoping it's going to be online, like there would be an easy option to do it online. There is already an online mechanism to apply for work permits for people who are in Canada. And I don't know at this point whether it would be the same online work permit application process, or RC would institute something else, and if they would want Ukrainian applicants to submit any additional information through the web form. So this is all evolving very quickly, and we are hoping that within the next couple of days, it's going to be very clear how somebody who is in Canada right now with a visitor status, so they can get their forms, fill them out, scan whatever necessary documents, and apply online.
Mm-hmm. Now, I want to just actually, that last comment that we had from Yaroslavna, she mentions a meeting with UCC, and I did want to pull this up as well. Once again, make sure I've got the right screen here. And let's see, apparently I've got a message from my mother. You got to love the live. But this right here, I wanted to just highlight. And I'm not sure, Anna, if you've had any interaction with these individuals who are trying to put together within the Ukrainian Canadian Congress some resources in addition, to what obviously within the Canadian Bar Association we're going to be trying to put together some resources to help individuals that are here in Canada. But this is one thing that was brought to my attention that I wanted to let people know about. was the series of webinars and Q&As that have been put together by Canadian lawyers and legal practitioners to support Ukrainians. And so I'm not sure if you've seen this, but they've got a series of I think they even did one. They did one on Monday today, and then they've got another session tomorrow. And so all you need to do is go to the Facebook page for Ukraine. It's this humanitarian appeal. It's UCC National and the Ukrainian Canadian Congress. So I'd encourage people, and we'll also put a link here as well. And maybe I'll be able to get someone on who's kind of spearheading that as well. I know the wheels of the CBA move slowly, don't they, Anna? So we'll see what within our membership as well, what we can do to provide some assistance to people who are seeking to take advantage of these additional measures that the government has laid out. So
yeah, Mark, and I can speak briefly about this initiative that is kind of brewing and getting forged within the Canadian Bar Association. So there are about 15 lawyers so far that have come forward, and we are going to have our introductory meeting on Wednesday morning through Zoom, and then we'll hopefully by that time we'll have more clarity and more concrete information from the government about like these practical things. Yeah, like how would somebody apply for an open work permit right now? What if somebody's passport has just expired, and clearly for the Ukrainian consulates in Canada, it's not going to be a priority right now to renew somebody's passports. And so the purpose of the meeting on Wednesday within this volunteer group would be to figure out like how we can start assisting, providing legal information, legal advice, like right away. So we might set up a dedicated web page through the Canadian Bar Association with our contact information. And so then those who are affected by the current turmoil in Ukraine can contact these lawyers. The lawyers would determine to what extent they can provide free assistance. So for example, somebody might have capacity to take on like an actual like case to do an application. Somebody might be available only to provide free consultations. So this is what we will discuss, and then we'll mobilize Canadian Bar Association, sort of their IT infrastructure to get the word out and make the information about our initiative easily accessible on the web.
You bet. So stay tuned for that, everyone. I also want to just highlight for those of you who are looking for somewhere you can call right now, the Government of Canada has set up, whether you're in Canada or abroad, this number 613-321-4243, and collect calls are accepted. Now, I've also understand that I have to imagine at this stage, all of our cellular providers are offering, no cost long distance calls to Ukraine. So that has been set up. But in addition, if you have inquiries, you can also, they've provided this keyword, Ukraine 2022, you can go to IRCC's web form. And I'm just going to open that up and just show people right here. And you can see they've had this right at the front now of, make sure that everybody can see my screen. Yeah, they can. Right at the front is the instructions here in case you have questions. And Anna, just last week we had a meeting with the Canadian Bar Association, and one of the lead individuals responsible for the client support and communication and transparency and everything, and they were slammed before, and then all of this happened, and they were just slowly digging their way out, and now they're right back into it, and so. Understand that when you send inquiries into the government, you're not going to get immediate responses. And so sometimes sitting on a phone forever and ever, hoping that the number you're going to be able to get through, sometimes that will work. But in other cases, you may wish to go and use this web form. And you're basically, just follow the instructions. I won't go into any detail, any extensive detail, but remember to use the keyword Ukraine 2022 in the inquiry box. And you can't miss it. It's the only one that really has a lot of free-form text available. And you can get your inquiry triaged up to the front of the queue. If you don't put it in there, well, I think they're dealing with about 15 days or 16 days responses with regular web form inquiries. So I just wanted to let
Mark, and I'll just mention, Mark, I'll just mention through
Please.
our listserv on CBA, because I'm trying to monitor it too to see what communication is transpiring in relation to Ukraine. So one of our members has shared through the listserv that when she contacted RSCC through this web form using the Ukraine 2022 keyword regarding her spousal sponsorship application involving a Ukrainian national, she got a response from like a living person there on the other side of the web form within 2 days.
2 days.
Which, of course, for you and me, we know it's like almost like from the realm of science fiction that RSCC would be
Yes.
responding so quickly within 2 days with any meaningful information. So I am very hopeful that it's not like a one-off situation, that this is how they see the standard target times to process to these to respond to these queries, because it's really an exigent situation and people do need answers really quickly.